Hey y'all, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, and as anybody with any sense can tell, I'm standing with one of my heroes who was kind enough to receive us and grant us a little bit of an interview. And folks, we've been here all day from 7 o'clock this morning. We were supposed to be working, and it's like for a lot of people, they have a list of folks they want to meet out there. You know, for some people it's celebrities, sports heroes, things like that. Well, I look up to people that are doing a whole lot more than I am and are a lot smarter about it. And as I said to Mr. Danny earlier, that the Bible says that he that walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So I came 10 hours away from my house to come down here and get some wisdom and tomatoes. Okay, I didn't.
Good luck on the tomatoes.
Mr. Danny, I was wondering if you could tell, I mean, I'm sure everybody out there might be one or two in this audience that doesn't know who he is, Danny at Deep South Homestead, but I was wondering if you could tell folks how you got into this.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where we had an internet bill. Wanda and I just didn't have any money. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. We were like struggling. And I told her, I said, look, we gotta cut the internet out. And then she goes, well, what are we gonna do? I said, well, we can keep the landline phone, but we're gonna have to come up with some way to pay for this internet, you know? And she said, well, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Well, I didn't know at the time either. So I told her, at the time, I've watched YouTube for several years. And Wanda never watched YouTube. She didn't know what YouTube was, really. And one day I was watching it and I was like, no, this is not real. And she goes, what are you hollering about in there? I said, come here, you got to look at this. And she came in there and there was this lady who was showing carrots. And I told her, I said, those carrots did not grow in that bed. And she said, how do you know that? I said, look at them. They're spaced perfectly. The dirt is perfectly black topsoil. I said, those carrots have been perfectly stuck in that ground. I said, if that woman pulls them carrots out of that ground and they don't have a hair root on them, I said, this is as fake as it gets. I said, I can do this. And she goes, well, let's just wait and see, you know. And the woman keeps talking and she pulls a carrot out of the ground and they're just like they come from the grocery store with the top still on it. Perfectly slick. I said, it's fake. Every bit of it's fake. I said, we're going to make a video. And she says, what do you mean? I said, if she can do it, I can do it, you know? So we started making a few videos. I didn't know anything about making videos, I'll be honest with you. Now, I've been a public speaker my whole life. I've been videoed a lot. But as far as sitting down and creating a video to upload to something like YouTube, I've never done anything like that. As a matter of fact, I never wanted my life out there. I was completely, how do you say this? I was completely out of the system as much as a person could be out of the system. And I told her, I said, Wanda, look, if we start putting up videos, everybody's going to know who I am. Mm-hmm. You know, I said, I'm going to be back out like I once was. And I said, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this, knowing what the future holds. And I said, but you know what? Knowing what I know, that cell phone that was laying there, I told her, I said, I'm already tracked. Everybody already knows. You Google who I am, and the available information on me that's there will come up, you know. And I told her, I said, you can find anybody. I was like you. If I wanted to know who you was, it would take me about 5 minutes.
No time at all.
I would know who you are. I would know every family member you have. I can tell exactly where you live. You know, I told her, I said, so what do I really have to lose? And I told her, I said, let's make a video. So we made first few videos. We put them up on YouTube. And, you know, I told her, I said, I'm just going to do it for fun for a while because we didn't know anything about making money or anything like that. I didn't know how any of that worked. We were fortunate enough to have two different people. One was Dirt Patch Heaven. Julie from Dirt Patch Heaven gave a shout out to us. And somebody contacted us on our chat line and they said, Dirt Patch just did a shout out on you. I was like, What's a shout out? I did not know. I mean, I'm like, who is this? And what did they do? And they told me, they sent a link to us, and I went to it, and this girl, she done us every Sunday, she would do shout outs for channels. And she gave us a shout out. And once I figured out what it was, then she contacted me and said, I would like for you to do a short clip for me to put on my Sunday thing to give you another shout out. And I said, Julie, I don't know how to do this. And she said, just go watch my other ones. And so she did that for us, and she gave us a shout out. And then Eric from Life and Farmland, didn't know who the guy was, had no clue. Somebody said, Eric just did a shout out for y'all. So I went back and looked, and Eric is a computer analyst who has a YouTube channel called Life and Farmland. Very dear friend of ours now. Eric did a shout out. He goes, oh, there's these, there are old people down in Mississippi down there. He goes, wait a minute. And we joking back and forth about it. But now, Eric has got a lot of physical issues now. He's got to have a kidney transplant and stuff like that now. Eric could really use some support. Him and Jenna, because he's in bad shape. And to be such a young man. But Eric gave us a shout out. And after that, it seems like things just kind of begin to progress. And that's why I don't mind today where we're at when people like Billy here from comes and contacts and says, can we come to your place? And I don't mind it, because I don't mind helping people, because we were helped.
I'll tell you what, it's been a real blessing. And for those of you out there, part of me coming down here, and I said it to Mr. Danny a little while ago, I said it probably several times today, is I am astonished. I thought you had a whole gang of people out here working with you.
Oh, no.
Or I didn't suspect that you were a fraud. I didn't think that at all. I thought they got to have help out here. But it's you and Miss Wanda doing all of this.
Yeah, just the two of us.
And then y'all still somehow, in light of everything you're doing, still somehow spent the entire day today. I mean, I came here thinking you were going to put me to work and we were going to do some stuff. And there's so many conversations that you and I are having off camera that, honestly, it made the trip just well worth it, just for that alone. Things that y'all ain't ever going to know out there right now.
You can't put that on YouTube.
no, you can't do any of that. But I was wondering, I mean, really, I get a lot of folks, younger folks, a lot younger than me, asking, how do you do this? How do you get started? I know a lot of this stuff is self-evident, but they're asking, they want one massive piece of sage advice that'll put them off and running. And for me, it always comes down to what Edison said. Success evades most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So from where you're standing, I mean, if somebody wants to be successful in doing homesteading, I know that YouTube is a byproduct of the wonderful things you do here at the house. Mm-hmm. What would you recommend somebody do to be a success in this space? Not necessarily YouTube, but I mean in terms of being a homesteader.
Well, the old adage is that's out there that the early bird gets the worm. There's a lot of hidden truth behind that. Let me say this. I was taught by a lot of really famous, well-off people when I was learning how to do business. And I was taught several different things. And I guess out of all of them that I was taught, the most important thing was that if you're ever going to have anything, you can't wait on somebody else to do it. You've got to do it yourself. You can't live on mom and daddy's and grandma and grandpa or uncle and aunt's coattails your whole life. My father raised me that you give me a couple of men who know what they're doing, and I can accomplish more than a crowd who don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And the old adage is 10 men ought to be able to do the work of one bulldozer in a day. That's just the way I was raised. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, usually 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning, because the way I was taught by men who were very successful. Even our presidents, a lot of our presidents will have this in there. If you go read their autobiographies, they rise early. Now, not every president, but there are specific ones of them. Ronald Reagan was one of them. But I say the names. I don't necessarily endorse everything that they've done. But they had principles that some of them were decent. That most of them began the morning with a scripture reading or with some sort of prayer or something to that nature. In other words, they began their day with the Lord. And that, to me, if you're going to be successful in anything you do, whether it's homesteading or whether it's anything you do, the day has to begin with the Lord. And if you start off like that, then the rest of the day is usually pretty decent. Now, not to say every day is going to be great, but at least acknowledge the fact, that the Lord allowed you to wake up that morning, and you put your shoes on and you hope that you take them off that night. But for me, it's just grit.
So there ain't no shortcut for any.
Nope.
It seems like everybody's looking for a shortcut is what I see. It's like whether it's a shortcut to fame within this circle. You're well known and rightfully so because of all the wonderful things you and Miss Wanda have done. But it seems like everybody's looking for a shortcut, the fastest way to raise chickens. Maybe they ain't the chickens you need, or the fast. They think there's some shortcut in how to do this. I've found out, and I'm sure maybe you didn't have to find out, but I definitely had to find out that doing all these shortcuts ain't making a better product. That definitely ain't happening. I mean, so it's like you said, it's grit, it's hard work, it's any number of things. Now, anybody looking around here, or if it goes to your channel, they might make certain assumptions. They might do it at mine too. They may look at the things around you and make certain assumptions. You got a beautiful lake out here.
Right.
You got another one out that way. You got high tunnels, and there's a lot of people thinking that they should have them things, or you came into a lot of money. And they make that the same assumption about me too. Did you come into a lot of money, or did you have to really buckle down and make it?
No. There's a lot of people out there that says, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His family left him an heir, a fortune, and all this kind of stuff. No, it's like you and I have talked about this earlier today. There's a lot out there that we don't talk about that goes on behind the scenes. I've actually had conversations with other YouTube channels that, that's made that same accusation that, wow, y'all must have a fortune. You must be this or you must be that. YouTube's been real good to y'all, No, it's none of that. It just comes through perseverance. Hard work ethics is something that's gone out the window. Nobody has work ethics anymore.
That's true. That is true.
Everybody, like you mentioned there, they're looking for a shortcut for everything. And that's because of technology. Technology teaches us that there's a shortcut. If you get a computer, you can set a computer up with shortcuts for everything. And we become a microwave society. We look for instant gratification. We want to be able to punch, and 45 seconds if something ain't ready, we're like throwing a fit. Fast food restaurants has caused the same thing. We do a drive-through. By the time we give our order and we get around to the window, if we got to wait a minute or two, we're already angry because we live in a microwave society. We want instant gratification. Nobody's willing to wait for anything anymore. I'm raising these meat birds. I'm supposed to be able to do this in 6 weeks. Well, if it takes 7, then everybody's mind doesn't comprehend the fact that, Grandma and Grandpa took a lifetime to get what they got. They didn't have it overnight. A lot of our moms and pops, they worked an entire lifetime to have what they have. And young people today, not just young people, it's older people too, they want everything that everybody else has, and they want it now. And society has set it up where you can do that through credit cards and bank loans and credit. Used to, no older than I am, I'm in my 60s, and no older than I am, you went to the bank to borrow money, you could only borrow the amount of what you had in savings.
That's right.
Right. And there wasn't none of this going out making a $50,000 loan if you didn't have $50,000 in the bank. It just didn't happen. And this thing of 30 years of your life for a mortgage and that kind of stuff, that didn't exist. You might get 15 years or something, but banks wasn't going to give you no 30-year mortgage or anything like that. And so, today, I want to say one of our biggest downfalls and one of the biggest issues that we're going through today is just instant gratification. We live in a microwave society. Everybody wants what they want. They want it now, no matter what it costs, and they don't look at the longevity that it's going to take to pay for it, because they're like, well, if I don't pay for it, I'll just file bankruptcy. And
yeah, good luck on that.
Yeah,
good luck on that.
Yeah, so it happens.
Well, I mean, it's been a real blessing here. I'm hoping people watch this, but I know that you probably get deluged by a number of people wanting to come down here for any number of reasons.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
maybe not all that honest up here.
Yeah.
I don't know how you and Miss Wanda don't have 1 million views right now, because after I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I haven't even seen a fraction.
Oh, I haven't showed you everything.
No, I haven't seen just what I've seen
Right.
is enough. Just in that greenhouse alone, that's like an all-day job for most folks just to maintain what y'all got out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you got several greenhouses, got all these plants in containers out here that I've been watching. You got tomatoes that are coming along great, potatoes doing well, and nothing's overgrown. You got fruit trees, and we were sitting there eating some of the best, I think they're Persian mulberries earlier.
Yeah, they are.
They're some of the best doggone mulberries. It's really astonishing. And Mr. Danny, I got to say that it's been a true honor and a pleasure for you and Miss Wanda to entertain us today. I honestly expected maybe you might grant us an hour of your time. I had no idea that y'all would sit here and talk to us for the whole day and just impart your knowledge. This is, you know what, folks? This is the best one-day apprenticeship of my life. So from Billy, from Perma Pastures Farm, I want to thank y'all so much for watching, and check out Danny over at Deep South Homestead, y'all, on YouTube. And where else can folks reach you?
Well, we have Patreon. Of course, that's a pay place. It's a $3 tier. It's not much. You can find us there. We post on Instagram, Facebook. I think Wanda puts a few videos over on BitChute. Brighteon. I'm sorry, over on Brighteon. She puts some over there. And look, I'm just a guy behind the camera. I let her put stuff where she wants to, and I trust her to do that.
But a good place to start is right there at Deep South Homestead on YouTube.
YouTube is where you're going to find your best deal. Now, there are stuff that we put on Patreon that we don't put on YouTube. The people over on Patreon, they basically get a day-by-day with us. Like today when y'all showed up and Wanda took some pictures, she instantly went over to Patreon, and people at Patreon knew y'all were here today. That was the beauty of Patreon, because they get to know every day what's going on daily. And YouTube does it. We don't do that on YouTube.
Sounds well worth it. Well, I'm sure you're going to have a deluge of people coming down here wanting to do an apprenticeship. So, hey, thanks y'all so much for watching, and thank you, Mr. Danny, for sitting down with me. Until next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. We'll see you next time.